Alright guys, so today I'll be talking about Holyfield versus Toney and some of the things that went on in the fight that led to the knockout of Evander Holyfield, one of the toughest chins in the game. So let's get into it, man. For the first couple of rounds, Toney was getting hit with the left hook. Now, this is one of the problems with the Philly shell. What tends to happen is most people, when they bend at the waist, they plant their feet. Alright, they plant their feet and they keep their head down on their waist. Now what happens when you do that is, number one, it hampers your vision. Number two, it reduces your mobility or your ability to move accordingly when a follow-up shot comes. And number three, you're in the path for the left hook. So Holyfield took advantage of that by landing the left hook constantly. And on this particular one, Toney will bend at the waist, planting his feet. And because he's leaning over to the right side, he's much closer to the left hook of Holyfield, and Holyfield was able to land the left hook. And he did this multiple times. I don't want to show you guys too many clips, but hopefully you watched the fight yourself. If you did, you'll see that Holyfield landed a lot of left hooks in the first round, and a lot of right hands as well. Now Toney was able to adjust by moving his feet to avoid the left hook. And so for this particular one here, Toney, instead of planting his feet and bending at the waist, he will move his feet and duck under the left hook. Instead of bending at the waist, he will duck under the left hook. Now, this gives you more mobility on your feet, meaning you can move much more from this position when you're moving back and when you're ducking straight under, instead of bending at the waist and ducking on one side. Now here's the second one. As opposed to bending at the waist and keeping his feet there, he will move his left foot back, slightly back, changing the angle, and he will duck under instead of bending on one side, which is the right side. Okay, now on this, instead of bending at the waist again, he will duck under, and that gives you more mobility. That gives you a better way of seeing things and seeing the punches coming. And finally on this, he will move his left foot back again, switching to a southpaw stance. And he was able to use distance to avoid the left hook instead of using his head movement. Now that Toney was able to solve the problem of the left hook, we will now look at how he solved the problem with the headbutt. We cannot talk about Holyfield without talking about the headbutt. Okay, so what Toney did is he always kept his head on one side or on one shoulder to avoid the headbutt. And so here you'll see him lean back a little bit. You'll see him lean back a little bit, and then he will lean on one side. Here he will lean back again, leaning on one side, avoiding the head of Holyfield, because what tends to happen with Holyfield is he tends to land the headbutt when his head is on the line, is in line with the head of his opponent. It's much easier for him to sneak that in, and most of the time the referee does not see that it's intentional when their heads are clashing together. So Toney did a pretty good job of keeping his head on one side as opposed to going head to head with Holyfield. And then there the referee, as you can tell, the referee warned Holyfield. Next up, we'll look at how did Toney expose the cross guard. Now the cross guard has a lot of openings and it has a lot of vulnerabilities. And that's one reason why a lot of fighters do not use it anymore as much today. They may use it as a 10% of their defensive stance, or they may use it as a transition. But there's a reason why the cross guard is so vulnerable for a lot of shots. Now for here, on this one, Toney will set it up with a jab. Holyfield responds by parrying and doing an over-exaggerated parry, leaving the left side of his face open. Now, what do you do if you're using a cross guard? What do you do to protect the left side of your face? Exactly, you use the right glove. All right, you stick that right glove on your chin and you block it. But like I said in my cross guard video, the right glove, if you're using a cross guard, the right glove is used for two things. Number one is the jab. All right, so here he parries the jab. But what comes next after that, you have to be able to put that right glove on the left side of your face so you won't get hit with the right hand. But what happened there was he tried to parry the jab and he was not able to put his right glove back to the left side of his face sooner, and he got hit on the left side of his face with the right hand. Same goes for that one. Here he did a pretty good job of blocking the chin, but what Toney did that was so smart was he decided to shoot for the temple. Alright, so even though Holyfield was able to block the chin, Toney was able to hit him on the temple. For this particular one, he will set it up with a right hand to the body, okay? And Holyfield did a pretty good job of blocking the chin. But again, Holyfield or Toney will throw a shot to the temple. And he hits Holyfield with that one. Now for this particular one, the right glove will start off the right glove will be located on the right side of the face of Holyfield. And what does that mean? He's looking to parry the shot. So when your right glove is on the left side of your face, you want to avoid the right hand. When your right glove is on the right side of your face, you are trying to parry. And for this particular one, Toney threw a jab, Holyfield parries it. He was not able to put that right glove on the left side of his face quick enough. And again, he got hit with a right hand on the side of his face. Next up, we'll look at the left hook to the body. And this is, again, another vulnerability of the left hook to the body, or of the cross guard. You see, because your right glove is on the left side of your face, you have no hand that will block the right side of your face. So if your right glove is on the right side, or if your right hand is on the left side, you have no protection right here on the right side of your face. So what you do, or what the cross guard is you protect the left side of your face with your right glove, but you protect the left side of your face with your right glove, and you protect the right side of your face with your elbow. So you'll raise your elbow up high, protecting your head with your arms. You see, just like what he did here. Toney decided to set it up with a left hook to the head, and then he went to the body right after that. And you see Holyfield's face, he got hurt with that shot. So again, on this one, Toney will set it up with a left hook to the head, forcing Holyfield to raise his elbows up, trying to protect the right side of his face. And then Toney was able to shoot down to the body, and Holyfield was not able to bring the elbows back down to where it came from quick enough. That's why he got hit with the left hook to the body. Next up is the left hook to the head. This is the final one that he used to expose the cross guard really. So for this particular one, he will try to go over the top, or he will try to go on top of the gloves of Holyfield right here, and Holyfield will try to go under, or will try to go on top of the left glove of Holyfield, or of Toney. So he will go underneath the elbow of James Toney. But that split second of him keeping his right hand down will lead to Toney landing the left hook on the right side of Holyfield's face. And there he was able to land the left hook to the head. So Toney puts it on top. Holyfield will try to go underneath, put it back on top of the glove of Toney, and that split second of him keeping his right glove down gives Toney the opportunity to land the left hook to the head, right there. On this particular one, Toney will throw the right hand, forcing Holyfield to put his right glove on the left side of his face, opening up the right side of his face, and he was able to land a short left hook on the inside. Finally, on this one, he will do a slight dip to the right side, faking a right hand, and you see the reaction of Holyfield. He puts his right glove and he positions it on the left side of his face, trying to avoid the right hand. And then Toney decided to do a lead left hook, to throw a lead left hook, landing it on the face of Holyfield. Now we look at the knockout. Finally, we will look at the knockout. Here, because Holyfield was getting constantly hit when he was using the cross guard defense, there just came a point where he decided to keep his hands up, and then Toney landed a right hook or a right hand down the pipe, a left hook to the head and a left hook to the body, and he was able to knock Holyfield out. And that's it. That's how it went down. That's how I saw the fight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I try to simplify these things for you. And if you like simple things, and if you like boxing to be a sport that can be easy to comprehend, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, man, because I experience these things. You know, some of the things that I talked about a while ago, I experience it. That's why, you know, I can talk to you guys about it openly and in a way that is very understandable. So that was it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.